Okay, today was day 86 and yesterday was day 85 of the 100 days of meditation challenge. It was also the end of the 5th week of me microdosing psilocybin mushrooms, and that's really helpful, the mushrooms. And it's hard to describe what it does, but basically it amplifies whatever is happening inside of you, inside of me. So if there's a bit of resistance to something, the resistance is amplified, so I can really see it clearly and work through it. So it's not a magic pill like some people think, and like is mentioned everywhere in all the microdosing communities and information that you can find. So it's not a magic pill, but yet it sort of is. So it's not a magic pill in the sense that, of course, it helps in the long term with depression and anxiety, but on the short term, in the immediate moment when you take it, it doesn't necessarily make you feel instantly better, but it amplifies what you are feeling. So it's harder to repress it, to ignore it, to deny it. But you have to be willing to do the work. So that's why it's sort of a magic pill, because it's helpful, but it's not in the sense that if you just take the mushrooms and hope that your life will suddenly get better, it won't. So when I microdose 5 days a week, my meditation is so much more, I don't know what word to use. I would use alive, but since everything is amplified, I can be in my body. It's like everything's amplified, but the thoughts are diminished. You notice them, but they're not omnipresent anymore. Can you say omnipresent in English? In French we can say that, but they're not as present. It's not all that's going on. At least what it does for me, because I have a lot of thoughts. And they're mostly critical, destructive thoughts, very mean thoughts that bring me down and keep me depressed. So the microdosing allows me to feel the emotions as they come up. So they're amplified. So every single thing that gives me an emotion is amplified as well. But I have the capacity to stay with it, and I have the capacity to stay in my body when I meditate, even though there are thoughts. So today is a day off, and tomorrow as well. And I just did my meditation. It's not that it was hard, but I would get caught up in a thought loop a lot more, and I would come back eventually to my presence, but it's harder to stay in my body and to stay present there, because the thoughts have a pull that is so strong. And it's been this way forever for me, and the microdosing helps with that. And I think it helps in the long run. So eventually, I'm hoping, I've read people who microdosed for years. I've heard people who did it for a few months and then they didn't need it anymore. And I'm hoping that's where I can get. So hopefully too, the microdosing trains me to feel different in my body, to respond differently to thoughts. So all that to say that today, my day off microdosing, my meditation was really only about thoughts. I was sitting there and it felt like I just watched a movie for the entire hour, movie of my thoughts, and I got caught up in there. And sometimes I would say, oh, no. And when I say I brought myself back to, oh, I was gone in thoughts. But I was not back in the sense that I was able to be present to all my sensations and emotions. The thoughts are always at the forefront. Whereas when I microdose the other 5 days a week, the meditation is much more global. It includes the sounds around, it includes the emotions, it includes the sensations in the body, and it also includes the thoughts. So that's the difference. I'm able to include everything that's in my awareness and in my consciousness. Well, a lot more, I would say, than when I don't microdose and all that's taken up the space is my thoughts. And it's it's more of a difficult job to stay present and aware of the sounds, the emotions, the body sensations, and all of that. But still, I think it's beneficial, and I will keep, because I could say, oh, I'm just going to meditate when I microdose, but then even though I know that psilocybin mushrooms help the body and the brain rewire itself and helps your nervous system and your what's it called, your neural pathways, even though I know it helps with that, it also has an effect in the moment as well. And I don't want to become like, I know you can't be addicted to mushrooms, but I don't want to depend on that substance to be able to meditate and to come back to presence. So I'll keep meditating even on my days off, even if it's less of a holistic experience, if I could say. So that was it for day 85 and 86, because yes, I forgot to make a video once again yesterday, but at least I had meditated.